If you want to save your marriage from existing cracks or prevent further disasters and frustrations in your marriage, then keep watching as we learn from how I almost ruined my marriage. Hello guys, welcome back again to the Wealthy Place. It's your friend and sister Ada. You know why I love reading and reviewing books? It's because the fastest way to get wisdom is from experiences. But you know, you mustn't go through these experiences yourself. You can learn from the experiences of others. And today, we'll be learning from the experiences of Eno Jerry, author of the book I Almost Ruined My Marriage, as she shares tips on how you and I can save our marriages today and prevent it from getting to where hers got to. And even if yours has gotten to where hers got to and even beyond, there is hope for you. Chapter 1 of this book, I Almost Ruined My Marriage, is who I was before marriage. Now, who we are is a product of nature and nurture. Nature is your DNA, the character traits you got from your parents, while nurture is the environment, the upbringing, and the other traits you imbibed from your immediate environment while growing up. Now, the author said one of the first problems she had was the environment in which she grew up in. She grew up in an environment where arguments and fightings were like a norm. In fact, in secondary school, that's high school, she was a Jackie Chan. She used to fight and fight until one day someone won her when they were fighting, and that was when she decided not to fight anymore. However, this experience caused her not to have the ability to engage in a conversation without arguing or quarreling with the other person. So when she got married, it was a major challenge for her. She discovered she could not discuss with her husband without raising her voice, walking out on him, or even arguing with him. And these things started creating cracks in her marriage. Let's hear what she said in a part of chapter 1. She said, "My journey in the early years of marriage was quite painful and enduring. Nothing I knew seemed to make sense anymore. All the seemingly harmless habits I got away with in the course of my life as a single became a challenge in marriage. This is how I had always been, and people accepted and liked me. Have you also found yourself saying to your spouse, 'Hey, you met me like this. Why is this now a big deal? Oh, I said this 1,001 times. I just couldn't understand how anyone will want me to change. Who I was had taken me so many years to become. So why was I supposed to change just because I got married?'" That was a difficult one for me to crack. Now, isn't this true for so many of us? We've been this way for a long time, and so when we get married, we find it difficult to change because this is how I've been. You met me this way. This is how we are in our family. It's my temperament. We have subtle excuses we use to justify negative traits. However, for this author, Eno Jerry, it was almost bringing her marriage to ruins until she found a way to handle her past. One of the things she said in the book was that your past is not you, and your past cannot keep you down if you do not want it to keep you down. So if you discover you have a negative past or negative upbringing that is affecting your marriage, you are the one who has to put it to an end. You need to bring it to a stop, else your marriage will be ruined. Another solution she provided is, when you discover that you are someone who is always argumentative, try not to speak out when you are upset. Rather, keep calm, and when you are more relaxed and in a more calm mood, when everywhere is calm, you can now air your view to your partner, and then you can better explain why you were furious at the time. However, this sounds easy to say, but for someone like me, it is well. It takes a lot of self-control to be able to keep mute when you are hot. But I've seen someone who does it and does it very well. The person could be angry, but then will say, "I don't want to talk now. We'll talk about it later. I'll talk about it later." And so I think that's what self-control is, controlling yourself. Knowing how to keep your body under subjection. Telling yourself, "I won't talk about it now. We'll talk about it later." Some people also say you can walk out from the place where you are being upset. But walking out on your spouse could be disrespectful. So rather, you could tell your spouse, Can we talk about this later, please? I don't think I want to engage in this conversation now. And then you leave the room or the place where your spouse is, not in a disrespectful way, but in a respectful manner. And I know that with these little tips, we can handle the negative past for people who grew up in an argumentative home. Like I and my husband, now this is me now, not Eno Jerry. My husband said he had never seen his parents argue. But they always, of course, have discussions and conversations, but nobody's tone will be higher than the other person's tone, or other persons will not necessarily know they're having an argument. And so it all depends on how well you manage your tone and your emotions when you are angry. And that will bring us to the next point in the book, my emotions. For people who have weak emotional strength, it will be very difficult to hide their emotions. For people like that, however they feel part-time, they feel everyone in the environment should feel the heat because they need to let the beans out immediately. However, she said now she knows better, that she doesn't flare up whenever she's upset. Rather, she keeps calm, like I said earlier. And so to build your emotional strength, if you know you are having, your emotional strength needs to be built up so that you can control yourself, you tell yourself this: your feelings do not dictate what you do in chains. And so pride leads to anger, leads to bitterness, leads to resentment, leads to fear, leads to depression, just like that, a roller coaster of emotions. And people who are hurting hurt others more. So when you discover that you have, or you are holding on to a negative emotion like a grudge, or you are beginning to resent your partner, let it go immediately, else it will generate to something more and you will no longer be able to control it when it gets to that height. The next point the author shares is disrespect. The author said she disrespected her husband so much in the marriage that at a point the husband even broke down in tears after an argument they had. Okay, so try not to disrespect your husband. Now, to everybody, respect means something else. Okay, so you need to determine what respect is to your spouse and then try to do that thing to them, as long as it's not life-threatening. Try to respect them in the way they want and want to be appreciated. You can check out the video I have on the 5 love languages so that you can learn how best to love your partner and give them love and respect the way they need it. Another point the author noted is bitterness. Always keeping record of wrongs will lead to negative thoughts and negative actions. So you should try to avoid hoarding negative thoughts in your heart. Let go, forgive easily. Now, the journey to recovery and how she saved her marriage. I'll read from the book. She said, understanding that your marriage already has cracks is a positive step that could engender healing and repairs. The first step is first discovering that your marriage already has cracks. Then the next thing is, rather than let these cracks in your marriage widen, make up your mind to bring healing to your marriage. Whatever you need to do in order for your marriage to blossom and grow, do it. Nothing could be more important than that. The first step to healing and saving your marriage is first accepting that there is a crack in this marriage. Something is not going on rightly. Then the next thing is try not to widen the crack. Rather, try to close it up. You need to have a talk with your husband, accept your faults and your mistakes, and try not to justify them. Rather, look for means to stop them and become a better version of yourself. Because like I said earlier, your body is subject to you. You are not your feelings. You are not your emotions. You are in charge of all these. And so do not let them dictate what you do. Else, your emotional strength will be said to be low and you'll be said to be living below your potentials. So put these things in checks and you will see your marriage thriving and becoming better. You are the one to build your home and make it what you want. This is the hard work of marriage. It's not a bed of roses, neither is it a bush of thorns, or how do they say it. However, there is a hard work in marriage, and this is building it and making it what you want. Envision the kind of home you want for you and your spouse and kids to live in, and then you have to create it and build it and make it happen. Another thing that helped the author heal her marriage is her relationship with God. She said as she grew in her relationship with God, she discovered she wanted to maintain peace in her home, and then the Holy Spirit helped her know when to act and when not to act, when to speak and when not to speak. And so for everyone out there today going through one issue or other in their marriages, increase and improve your relationship with God, and you will find out that your marriage will also improve in areas you're having difficulties in. I don't think it's cliche, because even in my home, I've also discovered that when I pray more and spend more time studying God's word, I respond to things differently than when I decide to do them on my own. And so I agree with the author on this point, that improving your relationship with God is one sure way to help your marriage remove the cracks and frustrations in your home. Finally, change is a process and not an event. It doesn't just happen. It could take time. You could make errors, fall once or twice, even after deciding not to get angry or act based on your emotions. However, do not give up, no matter how difficult it might seem, because it is possible. And when change happens, when you give change a chance, you will be happy you did, because your home, your kids, your spouse, your immediate and even extended family members will be happy you did, because everyone loves a happy ending. Everyone loves to see couples who started as young people grow old together. As long as the issue is not life-threatening, you can build your home. So if you love the video so far, please like this video, subscribe to my channel so YouTube can recommend this video to other persons, and I'll be very grateful for that. Okay, so let's go ahead. If your marriage is having cracks, I believe from Eno Jerry's true life story, you've learned one or two ways on how to help your marriage. To get this book, check the description box and I'll leave a link to the Amazon page or the Amazon website where you can order your copy and it can deliver to you wherever you are. Now, if you or someone else has gone through marriage and you've discovered cracks, please tell me in the comment section how you're able to save your marriage. And if you learned something from this video, also tell me in the comment section. I would love to know what tips you want to apply to help your marriage become better. I really enjoyed reading this book. I almost ruined my marriage, and I hope you also learned one or two things from this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm truly grateful. I remain your friend Ada, and I'll come your way again next week as I bring you another inspiring video. Have a blessed day. Bye. She is the pastor of the Refreshing Point of the Streams of Life Ministry International. Streams of Life Ministry. Sorry. Streams of Joy. Streams of Joy, not Streams of Life.